Welcome to PSA. I hope you're having an amazing summer or whatever season you are experiencing this, wherever you're watching it from. My name is Felix, if we haven't met yet. It's amazing to think that we're all connected through this video, if only for a few moments in time, but that we can also be connected in spirit for eternity if we choose to as well. Now, I know most of us have unfortunately been let down in the past by relationships at some point, and whether it was for our own good or because someone didn't have our best intentions in mind, it's still tough. I want to risk being a new relationship for you that won't let you down. My goal is to share some tested tools that I've used to improve my reliability for myself and others, and I'm really not choosing to be on the right side of history. I'm rather risking to be on the right side of eternity. So please check out some of the other PSA videos. They contain resources that I found value in, and I know they could help you or someone else if you choose to connect them with us. Today I want to run through a quick version of an exercise I use for myself and others. It's like I tore a page out of my playbook and I want to share it with you guys. This exercise is useful for people you may be dating or consoling, some people you're leading or some people you're employing. It's applicable in practical and physical and spiritual spaces as well. What it does is help establish your relational status and equity and where to go from there. Like most things, transparency brings the most clarity. And although you may feel a bit vulnerable at first, the more truthful you are with yourself, the better this exercise can serve you, and then you can be of service to others. Here are 4 metaphoric spaces that we all kind of find ourselves in. Now, I want you to immediately please identify where you find yourself and what most describes you. ER, emergency room, you need some help, 911. Outpatient, you're doing a little bit better, you're starting to move along. Candy striper, you're a volunteer, you're helping out, you're feeling good, and you want to help others. Nurse, doctor, you have some answers, you're ready to respond, and you're ready to teach someone something that could help their life. When we enter a new relationship or any space, be it with one person or a group of people, a job, a church, a love interest, we are in one of these spaces I mentioned above, but not permanently. We're in transition. And the sooner we accept where we are, we can figure out where we want to be and then map a way to get there. When you are less honest with yourself and others, you help no one and only delay the inevitable because the truth will always expose itself. So before I tackle these categories, I want to share a scripture that I feel is relatable to this exercise. Now, I know that we are all in different places in our spiritual journey, so if the word church in the scripture throws you off, please insert the word community or relationship, spouse, business, whichever helps you make the verse most relatable. This will help us move along in creating a better understanding of the overarching narrative, which is to create good, strong, healthy, relational leadership in every space that we enter. For those who don't know the person who I'm speaking about here in this verse, his name is Paul. He has an extremely colorful past, to say the least. He was highly educated. He had a successful tent building business. I kid sometimes and I call him the first Airbnb. But he also had a deadly issue. He hated Christians. He hated Christians so bad that he would persecute them and even kill them. But after a life-changing experience with God, he became one of his greatest tools. He wrote the majority of the New Testament, he built up a large amount of leaders, and he himself was the archetypal leader, so much so that people may say if you're Christian, you actually follow Paul, but we all know that Paul was chosen by God to do this work. The same as I want you to know, you have been chosen to do something specifically that has been set before you. Even if you don't know it yet, I can't wait to see you live it out. And hopefully today, some of this will help you do just that. In this verse, Paul will be speaking to Timothy about the best practices to pastor and build the church. Now, I know how those may be fighting words for some of you. I understand being poorly led by a pastor or being hurt by a church can be devastating to your feelings, but also to your faith. And believe it or not, it is even worse for the overall church. But I want to believe those people first entered those spaces with nothing but the best intentions in mind, so let's show them some grace. Grace may not be earned, but it is not opposed to effort. This is why I take this so seriously, and I take ownership for that person or those places, poor representation of a good God in your life. And I want to strive to give you a better example that you could consider. Oftentimes, God uses your greatest pain to fuel your next journey. And righteousness may be the absence of sin, but unrighteousness is the absence of perfection. And there lies the catch-22. We are all imperfect, but God uses imperfect people to do his perfect work. So where one person may fall short, another person needs to step up and not give up. Step up to build relationships, step up to build marriages, step up to build businesses, and to build community that teaches you values that will bring out the best in you. The world needs the best of you. So when I refer to this verse, it's because I feel Paul's teachings are universal, wherever we find ourselves, and we can use them as a standard. The person that he's speaking about, Timothy, was so impactful. He's one of the few people that has books named after him in the Bible. He came from a mixed marriage, was raised Jewish, and the more you study, you get to see that Timothy existed in all these stages I referred to in this exercise above. Ironically, maybe literally in the ER, Timothy was so committed he was circumcised by Paul as an adult with no anesthesia. Let's be grateful that the discipline and self-sacrifice it takes to be a great leader nowadays is a little less painful, to say the least. 1 Timothy 3. If anyone wants to provide leadership in the church, in a relationship, in your business, in your community, good. But there are preconditions. A leader must be well thought of, committed to his wife, cool, collected, accessible, and hospitable. He must know what he's talking about, not be over fond of wine, not pushy, but gentle, not thin-skinned, not money-hungry. He must handle his own affairs well, attentive to his children and having their respect. For if someone is unable to handle his own affairs, how can he take care of God's church? He must not be a new believer, lest the position go to his head and the devil trip him up. Outsiders must think well of him, or else the devil will figure out a way to lure him into his trap. The same goes for those who want to be servants in the church, in a relationship, in your business, in your community. Be serious, not deceitful, not too free with the bottle, not in it for what they can get out of it. They must be reverent before the mystery of the faith, not using their position to try and run things. Let them prove themselves first. If they can do it, then take them on. No exceptions are made for women. Same qualifications. Serious, dependable, not sharp-tongued, not over-fond of wine. Servants in the church, the business, the community, the relationship are to be committed to their spouses, attentive to their own children, and diligent in looking after their own affairs. Those who do this servant work will come highly respected, a real credit to this Jesus faith. Now, after hearing that, take a few moments to meditate, to think, to pray. What spaces do you find yourself most relating to? Where are you falling short? And then let's get into it. Do you find yourself in the ER? Are you in the emergency room, bleeding out, all hands on deck? Everyone has to drop whatever they're doing to help you. Note, you don't get visitors in the ER. It is tended to by highly accomplished people who are surrounding you to help you out. Other people who need an ER are not there to help you. Take inventory. If you are in a relational ER, surrounding yourself with other people who need emergency care is not good. So don't fake it. Let's get you help before things get worse. You can't stay there forever. Making believe you don't hurt does not heal anyone's wounds. Are you an outpatient, back on your feet, still needing some help, but you are showing great vital signs? You are feeling better now that you've got some help. And now you're feeling stronger, and some of the people might check in on you a little bit less because that ER keeps getting slammed with people bleeding out who need help. Don't take it personally and start to move on. We can't get to where we're going if we stay where we are. When you lose hope, you are letting all these people down who believe in you and God who has plans to prosper you. You need to surround yourself with people who have a mindset that you want to have. You owe your people the healthiest, most alive person you can be. The great news is, as an outpatient, everything is looking up and your choices are getting better. Are you a candy striper, a volunteer, a key staff member, a new employee? You have a good conscience. And a good conscience does not interfere with you doing good. It helps you do better. You don't help other people do good only when it serves you. You help them do good because it helps others. You are now doing so well that you are so grateful that you can be of service to others. You help the new employee learn the new system. You connect some good people with other good people. You check in on other people to make sure they're doing well. You are constantly trying to improve yourself, not just for yourself, but for others. Beware of people who stand between you and doing good only if it benefits their agenda. Good for all comes first. Be weary of the ideology of manifesting yourself better. Manifesting without movement is like a wish with no work. Yes, you can get lucky, but the same person who's preaching the secret of manifesting will tell you luck is when timing meets preparation. Don't let your life fly by while manifesting and wishing and not moving and working towards your goals. You have now matured to a space where you understand that when you serve, you heal. And the more you serve, the more you heal, not only yourself, but you help others become more whole as well. Doctors, teachers, leaders, business owners, spouses, pastors, we need a pure heart. Although this seems like a very admirable position of prestige to have, it may not be for everyone. It may not be your permanent position either. Just because we can do something doesn't mean that we should do it. You should only choose to step into this space because you can't do anything else. I don't mean because you don't have the talent to do something else, but rather because you feel so compelled by your soul, it won't let you do anything else but to be of service to others. A time comes when you need to stop trying to make things right with people who don't accept their part in what went wrong. Our opinions are not going to change the world, only our actions will. I want to do things that I can't stop myself from doing because they improve everyone's life around me. Now, these positions may not be permanent for the doctor. A doctor can end up back in the ER. An outpatient can grow to become a leader, a teacher, a doctor, a healer. And that's where we see that transparency is key. Everybody wins when the people who are leading get better. Leaders build leaders, not followers. If they are building you up to only follow them, stop now. One of my favorite Paul quotes is, "Follow my example as I follow Christ." We are just conduits to a Christ-like model. Our goals should not be to have people model themselves after us. Leadership is like water flowing through a pipe. As soon as there's a clog, as soon as the leader thinks he's done learning, that's when the water stops flowing and the pipe bursts. If a leader, the boss, the partner, is too proud to learn, they are unworthy to follow. Everyone is always leading and following simultaneously, and our honesty with ourselves and each other is what yields the greatest results. I hope this glimpse into this graph that I have brought you guys brings some value. This is probably the shortest I've been able to share it. It usually entails digging into all those little nooks and crannies and uncomfortable spaces for hours and many sessions, but I'll leave that up to you if you guys choose to work it. Some great examples in the business sector of some people leading with biblical principles. You could take a look at Chick-fil-A, Hobby Lobby, Starbucks. In the design space, Herman Miller. Relationally, we can look at Denzel and Pauletta Washington, or a younger couple that's trying to figure it out that I'm rooting for is Haley and Justin Bieber. That sounds so funny. Another example that may surprise you is you. I'm rooting for you to apply some biblical principles, to lead with love, to inspire others to do as well, to help others make it out of the ER and one day become nurses and doctors themselves, to be looked at as someone's pastor or a spouse or a leader that is leading in a community with character choices that make a difference in every space they enter. I'm most excited about learning from you and how you did it. So let's keep our heads up. Let's keep doing good. Even if others may not see it, just know God always does. Know that I'm here for you if you have any questions. And I'm always thinking of you. I'm thinking of the best you because that is the person that we all need to rise up. So I'm looking forward to your results from this video and all the other videos, and please take the time to share this video with the first person that comes to mind, and let's keep building each other up and building this community up. Until next week, let's love more, and I'll see you guys at the next PSA. Hey, I hope you enjoyed the wild ride through the message today. If someone came to mind, please share with them. Take a chance to check out the other messages. I would love to hear what you guys have to say in the comments, and I'll see you next week at the next PSA.